Nomads. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining the podcast. What's up, Jack?
Hey, Steve. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm just chilling. Moved into the city of Cape Town. We were kind of on a little coastal town before, but now we're in the city, and it's a lot less scary than people told me it would be. Like, my expectations were really low, and that's the thing. It's all about expectations. If you think you go in with the mindset that it's going to be the worst place in the world, then all you got to do is exceed those expectations, which the city has done. I actually like it a lot, so we're good.
Are you in like a cool part or like how did you choose your area to live in?
We just got a place with air conditioning, which a lot did not have. So we chose one with air conditioning. But yeah, we're like pretty much in the city center, but I'd say like on the nicer, kind of more upscale part of the city. Yeah, closer to the tourist area, but definitely still in the city. There's definitely homeless people right below our building. But yeah, it's nice.
Nice. That sounds authentic, honestly, you know.
Yeah,
That sounds
it's
cool. Uh,
it's good.
well, that's great. I mean, I'm glad it's working out. It looks nice from this point of view, so.
Yeah, it has a dishwasher, which is also a rarity, I think, abroad. So that's nice.
It's funny because I actually don't have a dishwasher in my place and I'm in America, so like you kind of got one on
Exactly.
me.
Yeah, exactly. Well, your dollar, you can stretch it a lot further here in South Africa than you can in Miami. So,
Yeah, that's definitely true.
all right, lit. Should we get into our Nomad news for the day? Should we talk about some
Absolutely. Do
stuff?
we have any breaking
Awesome.
news?
This one's breaking news. Even though this episode's going to air probably next week, this did just break yesterday. So we're breaking it now, and hopefully it'll still be interesting next week. But Spirit Airlines, there was a flight to Haiti from Florida, shout out Jack, that was hit by gunfire when it was flying to Haiti. So they actually decided not to land in Haiti. They just diverted to the Dominican Republic, which of course shares the island of Hispaniola with Haiti. And then I guess there was another JetBlue flight that found out that they also got hit by some bullets, maybe flying over Haiti. So flights to Port-au-Prince, the capital of Haiti, have been suspended for at least a week. So
Wait, so I mean, they must have been pretty close to the ground to get hit with a bullet, right? Like, was the Spirit airline flight like about to land or something?
I'm thinking it was. I think it was close to landing, but I'm just like,
Wow.
but who the hell's flying to Haiti anyway? I mean, it's if you watch the news, like it is as bad as it's ever been. I would hope. I think that it's just Haitians maybe who are living in Florida going over to see their families. Like I hope it's not Bill and Nancy trying to go on vacation in Haiti because that's just stupid. I mean, it's the country's been in a state of emergency for the past year. It's a level 4 right now on the U.S. travel advisory. Jack, have you've looked at the U.S. travel advisory before, right?
Yeah, I try to stay up to date, be advised by the government. Um,
Yeah, I think I remember talking to you about it because you were like, oh, maybe I'll fly to Mali, Africa. That's the place. It's a level 4, and they recommend that you draft a will before you go. Remember that you were talking about that?
yeah, and I feel like that just turned me off a little bit because I feel like I don't want to go through the process of drafting my will because that just is depressing. And then the fact that they recommend you do that, I mean, wow. Like that definitely was like usually I take the travel advisory with a grain of salt because I think that if you're, smart and safe, like it's usually not as bad as everyone says, but I mean that's a pretty big red flag, right?
So, yeah, level 4 is pretty bad, but let's go through the levels just for people who aren't familiar. So, level 1 is exercise normal precautions. Okay, this is where things are hella chill. You got Norway, Switzerland, stuff like that are level 1.
Are we on that? Like, does the US rate their own country?
No, we're not on there. And I wonder, I'm like, I feel like we would be a level 2 at least,
Like, I wonder if
honestly.
England or something rates us and says we're level
Oh,
two. You know what I mean?
yeah, I know England does have one, so we should look and see what US is rated.
Okay.
So then you got level 2, which is exercise increased caution. So these ones are also very chill. You'd be surprised by a lot of countries that are on level two that you'd think would be level one. So you got Germany, Spain. I think the U.S. government puts a lot of these on here if they have threats of terrorism. So, for instance, France is on there because I think terrorists like to fuck with France every now and
Mm-hmm.
again.
Mm-hmm.
But, this is where I like to live. A little danger, it's a little spicy. I'm actually in a level two right now in South Africa.
Whew. Wow, I figured South Africa would be a little higher than that, but I really have no idea what I'm talking about.
So that brings us to level three, which is reconsider travel. Now, this is thing where things get a little sketch. You got
Okay.
your Jamaicas, you got your Nigerias on there. Egypt, I know you've been there, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Did it feel like a level three to you when you were there?
Um, no, I feel like it felt like, I mean, definitely like felt like chaos, but I never felt unsafe. I didn't feel like
The
someone was
only
like gonna rob me or anything.
the only level three that I have been to is Colombia because I'm soft. I guess I'm not a big level three guy.
Mm.
And then you got level four. Okay, this is do not travel. And these ones are pretty obvious. It's a lot of active wars. You got Russia, Ukraine, Syria, North Korea's on there, of course. And then, yeah, Haiti, like we were just saying, is a level four. And Jack, if I remember correctly, you almost went to Haiti before, right?
Yeah, because I lived in the DR for like 6 months and I met this like hippie like jazz musician who like would go to Haiti to play shows. And he's like, "Yeah, bro, you can come with me." And then we kept talking about it, and he kind of made it sound like even with all the protections he's getting, it's not safe. So I was like, like I'm good. I'm on the same island. I'm sure it looks the same. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
That's kind of
I've
what I
seen
was
the
thinking.
coast. It's beautiful. What am I really missing? So,
Yeah, you might as well go to the DR because it's literally the same island, probably looks the same. I don't know why people feel the need to go to Haiti. They got that guy barbecue there. I don't know. I've heard about him. He's been just lighting people on fire, so they call him barbecue. So
what?
that doesn't sound great. Oh yeah,
Not
dude,
our
check him
kind of
out.
barbecue, Steve.
No, not the Kansas City homegrown Midwestern kind of stuff.
Yeah,
This guy
different kind of
just
burnt
likes
ends
people.
for sure.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But this whole thing does remind me of a story about Jimmy Buffett flying to Jamaica. So this was way back in the day, like in the '60s.
Okay.
Jimmy Buffett,
Of
Jimmy
course he would
Buffett,
go to
what?
Jamaica. I mean, that what a great
Yeah,
spot for his concert. I mean,
of course. So actually, no, when I said '60s, I meant 1996, the 1990 '60s.
okay, okay, okay.
So
20 years ago
apparently, yeah.
or
So
30 years ago. Jeez.
30 years, yeah, shit. Okay. So I guess Jimmy Buffett was a pilot. Like he had his pilot's license. He was an avid pilot. So he was flying to Jamaica with Bono from U2,
Okay.
as one does, casual.
Yeah.
And they're flying there, and the Jamaican authorities mistook his plane for a drug smuggling operation, and they opened fire on his plane. They shot like around 100 rounds at Jimmy Buffett's plane, but no one was injured on the plane. It was all good. He lands, and he's like, "I'm Jimmy Buffett." Right? And the Jamaican government apologized to him, and he was like, "It's all good. Don't worry about it." So, what he did though was he wrote a song about it called Jamaica Mistaka.
Wait, so Jamaica almost killed Bono and Jimmy Buffett in one day 30 years ago.
Yeah, that would have been a bad look.
Wow, yeah. We would
Talk
have
about
had
the
to
day that
retaliate.
music, talk about the day that music died. Yeah, we would have to retaliate. We'd be like, "All right, we're coming for Bob Marley."
Yeah, we are. We're taking
Kidding.
Bob Marley hostage. And
Now, Bob
Damien. We might as
Marley's,
well. Like,
yeah, Damien. We'd have to get his kids because Bob died, I think, like in the '70s.
oh,
But
okay,
yeah,
yeah. So we'll just yeah, we'll round up them all, round them all up for that one.
actually, dude, when did Bob die?
And
Because
Usain
now I,
Bolt. We would have to take Usain Bolt too. I mean, I know he's not like a musician, but
yes, Yeah, whatever else they got over there. Just reggae music in general. We'll just claim it and be like, yeah, reggae is it's an American type of music. Just
Yeah,
claim
we're
it.
taking away. Yeah, we're gonna like put a new Rastafarian pope in as retaliation. I don't know if the Rastafarians have popes or not, but we would have to do something like that. Like,
Yeah. Okay. For the record, Bob Marley died on May 11th, 1981. If you saw the movie that came out recently about his life, it was pretty good. But basically, he was playing soccer barefoot and he got an infection in his toe and it turned cancerous. And because Bob Marley was like all Rastafarian, he didn't believe in modern medicine. They were like, Bob, you
oh,
can easily treat this if you want. And he's like, no, man, like, I, I just let my body do whatever and I don't need all that stuff. And then he died. So,
anti-vax. I
RIP.
got it. Okay.
Yeah, anti vaxxer. So,
Wow, dude. All
yeah.
right. I didn't actually. That's crazy. I never really looked into whatever happened. I kind of assumed he was like still alive smoking weed, to be honest.
No, he lives in us. He's in here.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, that's
Uh,
sad. But okay, so imagine, you're flying and you're looking out the window. You're going to Haiti, you're really excited. They probably got some good food, and you start
barbecue.
seeing gunshots coming at your plane. Like, isn't that wild? Like, I'd be like, yo, turn around, bro. Like, pull up.
I'd be like, I was questioning this whole Haiti thing, but now it's confirmed this was a bad idea.
So I've looked up like other than like going to Haiti that time in the DR, I've looked up like if I could get a tour of Haiti, right? And so you would fly, and this is what they would say, right? You would fly in, and then they would basically have like an armed van that would like take you around for like 4 hours, and you have like an armed guard with you, and then they bring you back to the airport and you leave. Like, and that's your experience.
I mean, that sounds better than, but even at this point, I don't know if one armed guard is enough if they're shooting at airplanes and shit.
Because I feel like you got to be pretty close to shoot at the airplane, right? Because isn't like an airport like you got like the runway, but then you got like the fence. Like you'd have to be in there. Like
Dude, shit is wild there. I mean, the gangs have taken over. They killed their president whenever that happened. So the whole country is being run by gangs at this point, and I guess they're just trying to stop people from even entering the country by by shooting at them.
wow,
So
that's terrible. Which okay, now I'm not trying to tell gangs how to do their job, but I figured you'd actually want the plane to land so you can rob them and then they leave. Like because if you shoot at the plane and they don't come down, you're not getting any outside shipments. Like
that's
you kind
true.
of want to rob them when they land, in my opinion.
That's true. Yeah, planes are pretty, they're pretty protected by the large metal outside. So yeah, I would wait for the people to get off so I could fuck with them then.
Yeah,
Good
hopefully
idea,
they don't
Jack.
watch
Well,
this podcast because we're not trying to give
yeah.
them any help. Actually, I'm
Yeah,
down for any viewers, but like still, like I don't want.
we'll block barbecue so he doesn't see this. But
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. Didn't they have like a pretty bad earthquake too recently that like made things a lot worse
Yeah.
or something like that?
Yeah, that was really bad too. I think like thousands of people died. Like one of the worst earthquakes in the world in
Dude, see
recent
that
history.
sucks. It's like you're already having trouble and then you have like a horrible natural disaster. Like, damn, like what?
Yeah,
Like,
it goes from bad to worse. So,
yeah.
all right. Well, RIP, or no, not RIP. Sorry to Haiti. Hopefully things get better there. Hopefully we didn't make too many jokes at your expense, but I think we were pretty light.
Yeah, and RAP Bob Marley, I apologize, I didn't know, you know.
RIP Bob and RIP Jimmy Buffett. I'm glad that the Jamaica mistake didn't end up in your earlier death, but I think he did die like this year or last year, right?
Yeah, I think he did, yeah. But he was kind of jam until the end, which I respect.
He was. Yeah, absolutely. Shout out. Okay. Um,
So
next,
wait, Steve,
we
got a question
yes,
for you. You still got the level
yes.
4 pulled up?
Yeah, dude. What else
Okay,
do you want to
so
know from it?
yeah. So if you had to choose a level 4 country to go to for a month, which one do you think you would
Dude,
choose?
this is a great idea. Okay.
Okay.
We got Somalia, we got Yemen, we got Syria, Venezuela. Oh man, this is a tough list. South
Is it a short list?
Sudan.
Like, should I look it up from so I can choose as well here?
Yeah, I have the link actually on our episode outline thing. If you
Okay,
click
okay,
where it says travel advisory or whatever, and
okay.
then you
I
can
got it. I
sort
got it.
it, and then you can sort if you click up like on the levels.
Okay. Oh,
Okay,
nice. Okay.
if I had to live in one place for a month out of this list, I am gonna go
Ooh,
with
I know what I'm doing.
I'm gonna be Burma, formerly Myanmar, because I saw an episode of Anthony Bourdain or something like that where they go there, and it actually looked really beautiful. So I'm gonna choose that one,
Okay.
Myanmar.
Okay. That's a chill one.
What do you What do you choose?
I'm definitely gonna go with Lebanon. Like when I was in Egypt, I met a lot of Lebanese people and a little bit in Israel too, and they said Lebanon's so fun. Like I heard Beirut's kind of a party city. I love Lebanese food. It's
Yeah,
on
me
the
too.
coast of the Mediterranean. They just like I think they have some like, you know, they're affected by, the countries
The
around
war.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they get like bombed and shit sometimes too. So okay, yeah, Lebanon. I'm surprised that's level 4 because yeah, it is like a really nice country, amazing food. Yeah, I would love to go there. So that's actually a really good answer.
Yeah, I think I would definitely rip that one. Now, what about but what are these other on the list here that the level is other, Steve?
So that one, like I know with Mexico, it's certain areas because like the whole country isn't a level 4 or whatever. So they're
Oh,
just saying you got to check because wherever the cartels are hanging out, you don't want to go there. But like places like Merida, where we've been, Jack, like a super safe area of Mexico, like I think that's actually a level 1 or a 2.
oh, okay.
So
So a
that's
little more
they're
like,
just saying dig deeper, yeah.
gotcha. Okay, and same with Israel. Like, okay, go. You can go to Tel Aviv, but don't go to
The
the
front
West Bank.
lines.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah. And then China, I don't know. They're just like, don't bring a weed pen. Or that was Russia, but whatever. Don't bring a weed pen or they'll throw you in jail, even if you're a WNBA star.
Yeah, and I'm definitely not.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, what else? Anything else on the level 4s that we need to discuss?
I mean, these are pretty crazy. Like, I guess they all kind of make sense. Like, all these are pretty, you know, they not a lot of it. Like, I don't know if I, like really want. Like, I don't think I wanted to go to these places anyway. I mean, I kind of did, like,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's a tough list.
Yeah. It's a tough list indeed. Yeah. Nothing sounds super attractive on that list. But anyway. All right. Um, Now, should we talk about our Nomad Nightmare?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Jack. I'm going to read this one to you,
Okay.
and you'll just give me your take after kind of what your thoughts are on this.
Okay.
Since we are both remote workers, hopefully a lot of our listeners are remote workers, so they can relate to this a little bit. I'm just going to read this on the fly, so hopefully my reading is okay and I don't sound like a fucking idiot trying to read this.
It's okay. Popcorn Steve.
So this comes from Reddit. It is from Am I the Asshole? So the
Okay.
question is, am I the asshole for not responding to my coworker after hours while remote? So he goes on to say, earlier this week, I handed in my notice because they have been mistreating me. I felt so relieved handing in my notice because I will finally be free from this toxic work environment. Ooh, toxic. That's a trendy word. All right. During my notice period, I am tasked with training one of my coworkers, John, how to complete my tasks while wrapping up my work. I work 9 to 5 remote, and I used to work many overtime hours, which was expected of us, but I decided to no longer stay back since I resigned. After handing in my notice, I made it clear to my coworkers that I end at 5. During the day, I remind John, who I am training, that I will be ending my day at 5 every day. I train him for most of the day, and we take small breaks every now and then to address other work and emails. John always leaves his questions until the end of the day or the end of our training session while I tell him I will be logging off. Last time, I stayed back an extra 15 minutes to answer him. I was a bit annoyed since I gave him opportunities to ask earlier. Now, I end our training sessions at 4:50 to leave room for questions or to address other work for the remaining 10 minutes. But John doesn't have any questions until after 5. At 5:01 p.m. or later, John would message me on Teams, I have a question, or try calling me right as I am trying to log off. The way John asks questions on Teams is he tells me that he has a question and then waits for you to respond before elaborating. At that point, I continue to log off because I can respond the next day. Now on Thursday, John tried calling me on Teams again after 5. When I logged off, John texted my personal phone an hour later, I have a question and it's an emergency. It was not an emergency. He says it was not an emergency and I ignored it. Friday morning, I asked John what his question was, but John was angry that I didn't respond to him on Thursday. He said, since I am working remote, it's no big deal for me to stay back a couple of minutes or even log back on, since it's not like I'm driving back to the office. I told John that I am firm with leaving at 5 and his questions will have to wait until the next day, but I do feel bad because my work laptop is right there. I can just log back on, but I've been overworked for so long and even had a breakdown in a team meeting. All right, just kind of threw that in there. So his question, am I the asshole for ignoring my coworkers' messages and calls after 5 p.m. even though I'm remote?
I'm gonna say he's not the asshole. I can see the reason why is not specifically because of the 5 p.m. thing, but just because he apparently clearly communicated over and over again that he's not going to be available after 5. And I think that as that John guy needs to learn to, like, you know, respect people's time. Like, if you really have these burning questions, and you know the guy's leaving, like, put yourself in his shoes. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna work overtime. I'm leaving, bro. Like I'm good. So I don't think he's the asshole. I think John's the asshole. I think that guy needs to learn how to work with people a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. And
So
like who like yeah, what a weird situation. But what do you think, Steve?
I would agree, and that is the verdict. So Reddit gives you a verdict. You know, I think you can vote asshole or not. So they voted not the asshole. And a lot of the comments agreed with you. Like, if anyone's the asshole in this situation, it's this John guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, like, who gives a shit if you're remote? It doesn't, like, that doesn't mean you're just always working. That just means you're working from home. But like, when you log off, that means you're done with work for the day. Like, that's crazy to me. Just because you don't have to drive back to an office doesn't mean that you need to answer people's questions. Like, that's your time to be eating dinner or spending time with your family, like whatever it is you do outside of work. So yeah, I think it's insane for John to expect this guy to answer his questions after hours. Like, I would tell this guy to fuck off big time.
Yeah, I would too. I mean, now there is a different, like, I think this is actually, it feels like a common problem with remote work where people feel like, on one hand, it's like, oh, like I can like go, you know, do my laundry in the middle of the day. And then on the other hand, it's like, am I ever truly disconnected from work? And I think this is like sort of like trying to figure out the middle ground. You know, where, like, for example, if I was still working there and this guy was like working hard and like trying to like make a good impression and like, want to hit the ground running with work, I'd be like more flexible with like, okay, yeah, I'll help you out. You can send me a message as long as it's not like too inconvenient for me. I don't mind helping you. But in a situation where I'm telling you I'm done at 5, please let me know whatever questions you have, and I'm never gonna work there again. Like, yeah, like I'm not like helping you out. So
Yeah, that's why. Especially because he made the boundary before and was like, "Look, I'm not going to answer you after 5." And even tried to work with him. Hey, like, hey, we can meet at 4:50, like at the end of the day before the day is over. But this guy just always seems to have questions after 5 p.m. Like, nah. So the fact that this guy's leaving the toxic work environment, like, seems like the right move. So good for him. He doesn't have
yeah,
to deal with John anymore. So that's great.
Yeah, no, and this is also like a tangential nomad thing. It's like, usually since we're in different time zones, you're usually not working 9 to 5. You might be working like 11 to 7 or, 12 to 8 or something like that. And
Yeah.
you have to kind of deal with that. But at the end of the day, you should be able to be done when the normal time is done, the vast majority of the time. I think it's not unreasonable, if there's like a special project or it's crunch time, end of the month, trying to finish a sale or something,
Mhm.
that you work a little more because you don't want to be like a stick in the mud. I think having company success gives you success, but in a situation like this, I mean, I'm good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a time and a place to work overtime, but not to answer John's stupid questions. So,
Yeah, I wonder how John's doing now. Like, I wonder if he got all of his questions answered. I mean, I would never, especially like a lot of jobs too, when you're in training, it's kind of like syllabus week back in college. Like, do I really need to know this question at 6 p.m.? Like, maybe I'll just wait. I don't mind waiting. Like, I'm in learning mode. Like, I'm chilling. Like, this is fine with me. We can talk tomorrow. Like,
dude, I feel bad for this guy. He said he thinks he might, the OP, right? The poster says, I feel like I could be the asshole because I'm not responding to my coworker. And since I am remote, I can technically log back on to respond and stay back a bit. We also only have 2 weeks in total to train, and there's a lot of work. So maybe that could fall into the crunch time category if there's only 2 weeks to train this guy. But still, I feel like that's on the company. They should have better training or something like that. This guy shouldn't have to stay back just to train some guy named John. So
and usually, I
anyway.
mean, in my experience, my sort of jobs, I've always worked in teams. And so it's like, is it not possible for you to maybe ask in like a team chat or like ask a different coworker? Or is it really just you and this guy in the basement and there's no one else on earth who knows the answer to your question? Like,
Yeah, I don't. Well, it could be for a very specific position. I guess we don't know.
yeah.
But yeah, it sounds like he might be the only one that can answer, which sucks. But
That's good job security. Maybe he should have been like, maybe they would have offered him more money or something to stay. Like, but
doesn't sound like a place you want to stay. He said they always worked overtime. So
yeah, that
yeah,
sucks.
that sucks. So
Yeah, when you're nomad and you don't want to do it, you want to work as least amount as possible.
yeah, that's what it's all about. Hopefully, my boss doesn't hear this. But yeah, I agree with that. Just be efficient. I try to be efficient.
Yeah, because you don't want to get burned out either. Like, if you're constantly working overtime,
True.
you're probably just doing shitty during the day. Like,
Burnout. Yeah, that's another buzzword these days. So if your boss ever tells you you're not working hard enough, be like, no, I'm just trying to prevent burnout. And then you'll sound like you know what's up. They're like, oh, yeah, totally, dude. Burnout. Yeah.
but Steve, do you ever feel like because you're in different countries, sometimes you forget about holidays? Like, I forgot about Veterans Day because, like, last year because I was in a different country. But, like,
It also was
but
yesterday.
this year I remembered because I'm in Miami
Okay.
and everyone was off.
Got it.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I had no idea it was Veterans Day. And my company does not have that off. So,
Okay.
um, yeah. It's funny. Someone was like, oh, like your boss doesn't care about our dead veterans. And I was like, no, that's Memorial Day is celebrating the dead ones. Veterans Day is guys who are still alive. So
Oh, okay.
to be specific, my boss doesn't care about alive veterans. He only cares about after they die.
Okay, well, yeah, that's fair, honestly. Business is business. And this guy is funny because I mean, this guy must be a really nice guy if you ask me because this feels like a very cut and dry obvious I'm not the asshole situation.
Yeah.
So to like have to make
Yeah.
a Reddit post asking people like, man, this guy is probably nice.
He probably
He
is a
might
really
be
nice
too
guy.
nice. He might need to like be more assertive. It sounds like he was
Be more of
assertive.
an asshole.
Yeah, so
You probably should try to be an asshole
yeah,
more often. It sounds like, yeah,
maybe that should have been the response. Like, should have been an asshole.
should have been an
Like,
asshole. Yeah.
that's like,
Option number
yeah.
three. Yeah, I'm with that. All right, should we get to our location highlight for today?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Jack, do you want to say the name of this place? Because I feel like there's a couple different ways to pronounce it, and I don't want to say it
Well,
incorrectly.
but like, what if I say it incorrectly? I think.
Well, then you look like an idiot, and
Okay,
then
okay,
I
okay.
don't.
Is it Curacao?
Yeah, it's either Curaçao or like Curaçao. Like I've heard people say Curaçao, but that doesn't sound right because it's a U, so it should be Curaçao. I think that sounds good.
Well, like, but like, what's the little like thing that's not a C, but it looks like a C?
It's the C with the little squiggly tail on it. Yeah, I don't know what that
All right,
means.
Steve, do you want me to play the Google? I just Googled it. I'll do a little voice. Let's hear what they say. Okay,
Yeah,
according to
let's hear
Google,
it.
Curacao.
Damn, we were both
Okay,
wrong.
wait.
Curaçao.
But then doesn't it also? Oh, this then was the British pronunciation. Okay, let me go to American.
I can't hear it. What was
Oh,
it?
you can't hear it? Oh,
No, it's
it's
probably canceling it
Curacao.
out,
Like
but
we say it
Curaçao.
Curacao, and British people say Curacao.
Of course they do. All
Oh.
right, Jack.
Wait, this is crazy though.
What?
I feel like most confusing words are confusing because like you maybe learned the British pronunciation or you've heard the British pronunciation and you're like American or like vice versa.
I agree. Yeah, that does happen a lot because, like, well, I'm just thinking about spelling like color with a U, but you still say it the same
Or
way.
like defense
But
with like a C or an
defense.
S. Yeah, like
Yeah, yeah.
so
Damn it. Yeah, dude. The British, like, they literally invented English. You think they'd be better at it, at speaking it.
yeah, I mean, we kind of, we went over the pond and we changed a couple things.
Yeah, we perfected it in
Yeah,
America.
we did. Honestly, we had to change it up. We got to kind of like separate from our
Yeah,
roots, blaze our own path.
dude. I heard someone say mobile the other day, and I was like, that's so wrong that we say mobile. Like that's so not how it should be
Is
mobile
it?
based on how it's spelled. But yeah, like a mobile phone, like I don't know, ILE should be
But
aisle.
then isn't that town in Alabama
Mobile.
Mobile?
Yeah, so that's a whole other
Yeah.
thing. That's Alabama speaks their own type of English down there for
And then
sure.
my dad says route instead or route. And so I forget which
Route.
one he says, but I know he says it one way and I feel like it's the other way. I'm not going to go against him.
I think I,
I just
I think I say route.
but you never say route.
Well, I'll say I'm en route. I feel like it depends on the context. I feel like I say I'm en route if I'm on my
But
way.
like your
I don't
Wi-Fi
say I'm en
router,
route. Oh, that's a router. Yeah,
okay.
it's not a
But
router.
then what's that plumbing company? Router
Rotor
router
rooter, rotor
router?
rooter. Yeah.
Yeah,
Tomato, tomato, Jack.
yeah, either way, but English is hard.
English is hard.
Yeah.
Thank God we don't have to learn Mandarin because I heard that's actually
Yeah,
hard.
thank God
English
we know
is
English.
probably fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
barely, I guess.
So, Jack, what is Curacao? Not the blue liquor, but the country. Like, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, I think it's an island in the Caribbean, and I think it's a Dutch. I think it's like a Dutch territory, technically. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's part of the Kingdom of the Netherlands.
Okay. And there,
So I don't know if that makes it like Hawaii, like a state, or if it's more like Puerto Rico, like it's a territory, but it's not a state. But anyway, it's part of the Kingdom of the
yeah, I
Netherlands,
don't
whatever
know if
that
they
means.
do they get a European passport? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
Because that would be
Yeah,
my like sort of like that would be I would love to know that. Um,
yeah,
but yeah,
that's a
it's
good
part
question.
of a group of three, right? The ABC islands:
Yeah,
Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao. Curacao
yep.
is
Curacao.
Bonaire right? Is Aruba right? Like I'm questioning everything now.
You're right. Yeah, that is correct. And I don't know about the pronunciation of Bonaire, but yeah,
Bonaire,
whatever.
number
That sounds
Bonaire.
good.
Not for
Yeah,
that.
dude.
So
Boner. Okay, so yeah, what else?
okay, well I felt like this is a fun fact. And I wonder if this is true. If you believe this. Is I've heard that Curacao is marketed more towards Europeans and Aruba is marketed more towards Americans. Like, you know what I'm
100%.
saying?
So this is kind of why I wanted to talk about Curacao. I know we've both been there, we both loved it. I always find myself just thinking back to it when I think about all the cool places I've been because it is such a unique spot, and I feel like no Americans know about it. Like all American, like people go to Aruba, right? That's and that if you go to Aruba, so I've been to both. It is more Americanized. You know, they have like Chili's and Applebee's there, whereas Curaçao, it feels like you're in Europe. Like it has Euro vibes, but in the Caribbean, like it has awesome European kind of Dutch
Yeah.
architecture. I just think it's a really special place, which is why I wanted to highlight it
Yeah.
today. But yes, I feel like Aruba is the American one, and Curacao has direct flights to Amsterdam,
Right.
so they can fly there
No, and
anytime
I
they
feel
want.
like I met a lot of Dutch people when I was there.
Totally.
And
Yeah.
I remember one thing that was
Yeah.
kind of
So,
funny. I don't know if this was just my hotel room, but the toilet was like elevated a little bit higher. And so like I noticed that
I did
like it
not
was like a
know that.
higher elevation toilet cuz Dutch people are taller, but I don't know. Maybe I was overthinking it like
Oh.
but I vividly remember that. Like
Okay. I don't think I had that in my Airbnb. But Dutch people I know are the tallest people in the world on average.
wow, okay.
Fun
Yeah,
fact.
see what I'm saying? Like maybe I just made that up.
Yeah.
I remember that though. Like
No, it could be. It
okay.
could be. I don't know. That's funny though. Um, like I just so were you the bend at the knee was different than normal? Like did you kind of have to like stand
Well,
up and just
this
shoot
is
it
the thing
out
for
or?
me, right? Like I'm like a taller person, I would say. And so like I actually didn't
Mhm.
notice it, but my girlfriend at the time was shorter. And so she noticed it quite a bit. It just messed up her dynamic more. And so that's why I remember it.
That would be crazy to poop with like your feet
Yeah.
dangling, like you're kicking your feet while you're pooping. Like I'm usually firmly planted, but that would be nuts if you were like you couldn't touch the
Yeah, because then
ground.
you don't have stability when you're pooping, and I feel like that throws off your whole game plan.
Totally. Yeah, my aura would be way
Yeah,
off if I couldn't
yeah.
touch. So, um, other sick things about Curacao is it's so it's in the Caribbean, but it's not an island that people think about as being in the Caribbean. It's kind of outside of what they call Hurricane Alley, so it's right off the coast of Venezuela. But the climate there is actually really dry, so it hardly ever rains there, which I think is a really nice benefit because sometimes you'll be in the Caribbean, maybe Puerto Rico or something, and like they just get these crazy rainstorms out of nowhere, and it can really ruin your beach day, your golf day. But in Curacao, you don't have to worry about that. I mean, there's cactus everywhere. It's dope.
That's yeah, that's awesome, honestly. I'm down for that because I feel like that is one thing about Caribbean islands. It's kind of always raining, at least sometime, some part of the day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like almost every day, even if it's just for like 15 minutes. Sometimes it'll move over, but yeah. So what else did I do there? So there's two beautiful national parks. One is called Cristofel, which is like this mountain
I
you
went
can
to that
climb and you
one.
see a view of yeah. So it's like a view of literally the entire island, which is really cool. And the hike wasn't too difficult. And then there's Chete Boca, which is like these caves, and then the waves come and they splash against the rocks, and it creates this big like, kind of thing.
Hmm.
That one was cool. You do kind of need to have a car there. I don't. Do you remember if Uber was a thing there? So the reason I drove everywhere was the Airbnb that I got actually came with a car. It's the
Wow,
first time I've ever
what?
experienced that. So our Airbnb came with a car. So we just used that the whole time, drove all over the island. So that's why we chose the Airbnb. We're like, that's sweet. Let's just
Let me get. You
use
gave him
their
a four
car.
star. Great, great service, everything. 4 star though. Keep him grounded.
No, and honestly, I didn't even deserve a 5 star there because I'm pretty sure we scratched that car up because there was like dry cactus and stuff like that everywhere, and we like definitely scratched it.
What I
So
remember is I didn't have that, but they had like a bus system that, but like it wasn't like there wasn't like a bus stop. You just like flagged it down, which made it much more difficult to like pull it
yeah,
off.
yeah, one of those.
Um,
Okay. Um,
but when I went, like it was pretty deep COVID, and so actually like Willemstad and like a lot of the places were closed, and we lived on like a golf beach resort thing, and so we kind of stayed there for most of the time. We went to that national park, but other
hmm.
than that we did not travel as much as we normally would have.
All right, well, I'll tell some of my things that I did there, some of my activities that were some of my favorites. Now, I think you scuba dived there, so we can talk
Yeah.
about that. This was actually my first time ever scuba diving, so
Oh,
we did the shipwreck at Tugboat Beach, which was really cool.
that sounds cool.
And one of my favorite things was we went to this place called Playa Pescado, which is where there's fishermen there, they fit and they'll throw their bait or whatever, or like the extra parts of the fish out into the ocean. So it attracts a ton of sea turtles to this beach, this area. So you can go and snorkel there, and you're just snorkeling with like tons of sea turtles. And it's not like a touristy thing where you swim with dolphins in Florida. Like it's not super tour. Like you don't pay to even do it. You just go on your own accord, and you get your snorkel. Like you bring your own snorkel, and you go out with the sea turtles. So that was a really cool
That is cool.
experience.
Okay, I'm down for some sea turtle vibes.
And there's lots of other cool hidden beaches everywhere. Mambo Beach was really good for like partying. There's lots of restaurants and stuff. You got the bridge. So Queen Emma Bridge is also called the Swinging Old Lady. It is a 1988 pedestrian bridge that literally swings open. Like it just like the whole bridge swings and it opens up so that ships can
Instead of
pass
going
through.
up,
So like
it goes.
yeah, instead of going up, it like swings off to the side. So that was really cool. There's also Punda, a neighborhood in Willemstad, the capital town, which is like a colorful neighborhood where all the houses are painted like really bright colors, which I'm starting to realize that's in every city that I go to. Like literally my neighborhood in Cape Town has one. Like Istanbul has one. I'm sure you've been to a ton in Latin
Yeah.
America that just like have the colorful houses and like everyone thinks it's really cool. But now I'm like, okay, I've seen like 10 of these. Don't get me wrong, it's always pretty cool, but the first time I went to one of those, I was like, wow, this is so unique. And now I'm like, oh, it's actually not that
Yeah,
unique,
it's like
but
every city having a historical center with the church.
yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, the
oh my
cathedral.
God, this is amazing. We got cobblestone square with some trees. This is crazy.
And again, to your average traveler, those things are awesome. They still are awesome, but I'm just starting to realize it's not as unique as when I first started traveling.
But they're cool. Like I felt like the Willemstad, like the classic, like that sort of like facade and in by the water is like a pretty. It's like what you're saying. It's like Dutch, but like in a tropical setting. Like that is different. Like that is an
Yeah,
interesting angle.
it is. Yeah, it is super cool. Now, my favorite thing, not my favorite, I shouldn't say favorite, but something that I loved about Curaçao is the word douchey. Do you remember this? I
Yeah.
don't know if you
They had
encountered
a
this when you
that
were.
literally there was like a thing in my Airbnb that said douchey on it. Like some like thing hanging from the wall.
Dude, I got a picture. There's this, when they have like the giant letters in
Another
certain
classic move.
places, like another
Yeah.
classic move. But this one, instead of saying Curacao, it just said douchey. And I had no idea. That was the first time I saw the word, and I was like, what the hell is this? Like, this is awesome. So, of course, I got a picture with it. I'll put that up on the video. Um, but basically, it's a slang word that I don't even think is necessarily Dutch. I think it comes from the island language called Pepimento.
Okay.
So the native language, but now apparently even in Amsterdam people are starting to say it, like in the Netherlands. But basically the word douchey, it's just good vibes. It means good. It could mean attractive, like if you see like a hot girl you could be like, oh, she's
Oh,
douchey.
nice. Okay.
If you had some good food and it was really tasty, you can say, oh, that was some douchey food.
So you just use it for anything.
Anything. It's like their favorite word.
It's like we say dank or Americans say dank, except this is cooler.
Yeah. Yeah, it is color. So I actually bought a shirt. I don't know if I still have it, but it said like "Have a douchey day" or something like that. It was a good shirt. And I wore it in America, and people just thought I was a douche. It's kind of funny. It almost has an opposite meaning. Like in America, like douchey means like bad. Like if a guy is douchey, that's not a good
Well,
thing.
depending on who you are, yeah, it could be. It's usually not a good thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So, um, yeah, so that's all I have on Curacao. I mean, I like to think that it's a good nomad destination because there are things to do there besides just vacationing at a resort. Like, we lived in an Airbnb and had a nice time, a nice community. So I do feel like it, because there's some Caribbean islands that are just there for resorting, vacationing. I feel like Turks and Caicos was
Yeah.
kind of like that. But this place has some culture and some local things to
Yeah, I
do.
felt like the diving and the snorkeling was really exceptional as well. The one thing I that really stuck out to me, it was the first time I ever did shore diving, which is where you don't have to like take the boat out to like go to a dive spot. It's because there's such a steep drop off into the Caribbean, so close to shore that you can just wade into the water with your stuff and you're in like really epic dive situations, and that's called like shore diving.
Yeah.
You're not taking a boat. And I was like, I love that. Like that was so convenient. We also did a shipwreck dive, and it was a shore dive, and this cargo ship sank perfectly and landed upright underwater. So you got to swim through like the big hole and swim up through like the bridge and everything, and it was really cool. It was a cool experience, and the fact that we could just go from shore and then like come back, it was just so convenient. I felt like
Dude. Yes, I think we did the
we did the
same
same
dive.
dive. Okay, okay, cool. I don't know
Yeah,
what it
yeah,
was
I think so.
called.
Well, because mine was also a shore dive, and we saw the shipwreck. So I'm guessing it was the same one,
Dude,
but who
that one
knows?
left from
Um,
like my hotel that I stayed at. So I you might have like it was called like Blue Bay. I don't know if that rings a bell. Like I don't
Maybe
know.
I don't remember, but it could have
But
been.
and the other thing I liked too was I hate to sound douchey, but like I kind of like snorkeling better than scuba. And I really enjoyed doing snorkeling in Curacao because of the fact that of the steep drop off, there was actually like really cool coral and fish just like right by the shore. And so it was convenient. We're just
Yeah,
laying out on the beach, swimming out, going down, checking it all out, coming back. That was awesome for me. Yeah.
dude. Yeah, the snorkeling there is amazing. We would go beach hopping with our car, and we just had our snorkels in the car, and we would just go from beach to beach. It's like bar hopping, but with a beach. And seriously, some of the most beautiful beaches I've ever seen in the world. White sand, the water is just incredible,
Clear.
clear, just so beautiful.
Yeah, awesome, honestly. The only weird thing for me
Good
was
shit.
we came from Colombia, and
Mm.
Colombia and Curacao are really close together geographically, but we had to fly all the way back to Miami and then all the way back down. And I'm just like, oh man, like why couldn't we have flown direct? But that's how it is with these Caribbean islands. They don't have a lot of like destinations. So we
Right.
kind of had to go back up.
Yeah. There's some you have to fly to Miami to get
Yeah.
to. Like
Yeah,
that's it.
exactly.
I was trying to go from Cancun to a Caribbean island, and like two vacation spots like don't fly to each other. Like that
Yeah,
doesn't
people
make any
aren't doing
sense,
that.
right? Why would they fly to each
Yeah.
other? Yeah, so you just have to go back to Florida. So yeah, that is always disappointing when you have to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's weird.
All right. What else we got, Jack? Maybe we'll save our Nomad hack for next week's episode. But anything else we got today?
Nah, man. I mean, we talked about the Caribbean quite a bit today, like the good and the bad.
Good and bad. The good and the
But
bad. And the ugly. What's the
I
ugly?
want Haiti to be cool. Like I want to be able to go because I think Little Haiti is kind of cool in Miami. And there's a lot of Haitians
Right.
here, so I'm like, man, like we got a vibe. Like let's get out there, But it just feels like right now they need a complete overhaul. They need as we say, they need a reorg, a good old reorg.
Yeah, someone needs to just like buy the whole country or something and just like save them. I don't really know what the solution is, but let's make a pact, Jack. When they become level 3, because right now they're level 4, when they become level 3, we're
All
going to
right,
Haiti.
I'm down.
I mean, honestly, dude, like Colombia, which is now level 3, and we've both been there, it's like fine. It used to be the most dangerous place in the world, Medellin, and we've been to that city. Like, it's totally chilled. Like, they have had such a resurgence, and that was 20 years ago. So I think you can accomplish a lot in a short
Yeah,
time.
yeah, I think I'm bullish on it, and I think that like it doesn't have to be like the most safe place either. Like I think
Yeah, level three. Like I said, level three, no terrorism. I'm
yeah,
ready.
Steve, maybe we need to start a newsletter on like notifications when countries change their level.
That's a good idea. You're like waiting. You're like, finally, I'm going to the Central
Book
African
it, and
Republic.
then
Let's
like
go,
by the time
baby.
your flight leaves, it gets moved back to 4.
They shoot at your flight when you're landing again. You're
You
like,
are
damn
the
it.
reason why
I
they
thought
go
this was a
back to
three.
4. Like you're the news story. Like
Yeah.
honestly, this is. I know this sounds reckless, but I am more deterred from bad internet than a dangerous city. Like I would choose a
Me too.
dangerous city with good internet over a safe city with bad internet. Now, there might be a direct correlation between good internet and good city and bad internet and bad city,
A little
but
bit.
still like
A little
a
bit, yeah.
digital nomad's biggest fear is not the machete, it's the internet router not working.
The signal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, like Beirut, like Lebanon, I'm sure has good
Yeah.
internet, but it's dangerous.
Yeah.
So
So,
pick your poison.
you want to show up for work or you want to die?
Some days I wonder.
Yeah.
All right, people, make sure to like, subscribe, do all that
Comment.
shit on. We're on Spotify. We're on. Yeah, maybe leave a comment. Say something nice. Say something mean. Feel free to roast us. Whatever you want to do. You can make fun of my washing machine back there. Yeah, we're on Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, YouTube,
If you've been to a level 4 country and you think we're
everything.
fucking, like we're being scaredy cats, then let us know. Like,
Let us know. Yeah, Ukraine does not. If you went to Ukraine like 4 years ago, that doesn't count. I need to know that you were in Mali like during the Civil War, and then we'll talk.
yeah, exactly. I need you to like, I want to see like a picture of you with some bullet holes or something. Like,
Yeah, yeah, we need some
yeah,
proof. All right, well, until next time.
take a weird trip.